I'm waiting for a notification.
We're live now. Welcome to today. Welcome to this webinar. I'm Tara Swiger. I'm here with my friend Dave Eaton.
Hi.
Hi. He is a certified trainer, and I had him here because he is the person I go to with all of my questions about what we're going to talk about today, which is how you support your health on a foundational level, on the cellular level. And there's something that we're going to start January 21st, which we'll talk more about, which is a cleanse and restore program. And it is not like a crazy juice cleanse or anything. We're talking about just supporting you on a cellular level, helping your digestion and your endocrine system. And the reason why we're talking about this is because every time I talk with somebody about how they want to use the oils, their issues are always either mood management, their digestive issues, or their hormonal balance. And the crazy thing is all of these things are really intricately related. So for example, we make 90% of our serotonin, which is a brain neurotransmitter. It's a thing that regulates mood. We make 90% of it in our gut. And studies have shown that the healthier bacteria you have in your gut, the more serotonin your gut produces. So meaning if you don't have healthy bacteria or you have the wrong kind of bacteria, which are killing the healthy bacteria, you are going to notice it in your mood. And that gut health protocols drastically impact mood, especially depressive feelings or anxious feelings. So that is something lots of you guys who are with us have told me that you're dealing with. And then I have a note here and I was totally forgot what I was going to say. Oh, the other thing is a lot of the reason why people start looking for natural solutions is they want to decrease their toxic load, the amount of toxins they're putting on their body and they have in their life. And the thing is, you can decrease your toxic load from the outside, but you can also support your body in processing out and cleansing out those toxins. And that's a really important step. If you've started to replace your household cleaners with natural products or your face stuff with natural products, you still have toxins that your body needs to clean out, and you can do that really naturally and gently without going crazy. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm just looking at my notes. So yeah, it's really a foundational. It's like the foundations. It's not about being crazy, losing weight, looking a certain way. It's about getting foundationally healthy. So all the things you put on the outside of your body are that much more effective because you are processing it and balancing it all cleanly on the inside. So Dave's helped a lot of people with this. So tell us, Dave, some of the people you've helped or the stories you have about it.
Sure. So in owning a gym, obviously people come in, and this wasn't like a typical big gym where you just come in and do your own thing. It was an actual CrossFit affiliate. I've been into fitness for about 10 years and became passionate about it and wanted to help people about 8 years ago and opened up a gym. And in that type of a gym, it's a community gym. It's not just go do your curls and tricep extensions and run on a treadmill. You're asking for help. You're getting help even when you're not asking for it if you're just doing it wrong. And so part of the community that I noticed, there would be a turnover of people that would come in and they would leave about 2 to 3 months later because they weren't getting the results that they were hoping for. And I started to investigate why. And this was before originally, all what I got started with the gym was long before I was involved with doTERRA. And so it became kind of a study of mine, something I just like to geek out on, is to figure out why this was happening and how I could help people get better results. And so me being my own guinea pig, I started looking into different products and different supplements and different plans. And there were certain plans I didn't like, certain cleanses I didn't like because they were very, very difficult. They really required you not eating. They required, I just thought, an unrealistic expectation that really you're setting people up for failure because you're making it too hard. And so I looked at things as let's do this in a way that you're changing the people's habits and you're creating an environment for change in their body that's going to happen from the inside out. And so when I learned of the doTERRA cleanse, when my wife was just a consumer of the products, it excited me. I did it myself and I had amazing results. And so what I would do with people in my gym is and what they wanted to accomplish. And I would encourage them to do the cleanse. And what I found is the people that chose to do the cleanse, they ended up with much better results, weight more or anything like that. It had more to do with, like what Tara said, where you're decreasing the toxic load, you're creating a healthier foundation of the body for it to function naturally. And so it became more important to me that they did the cleanse for 30 days than they even worked out for their first 30 days. It was irrelevant to me. And so I would even go as far as give them a free month's membership if they did the cleanse, because I knew that if I invested in that first month, that it would have a great return, because instead of being there for 2 to 3 months on average, they'd be there from 6 to 12 months with drastically different results. And
right.
so
your goal wasn't just to keep them at your gym longer. It was to keep them motivated to keep being healthy. Because what would happen with the other people is after 3 months, they would like give up altogether on their health and wellness.
Yeah, and what happened is, like with most people, they make the what they're going to do, they make it too hard. You know, they're going to stop eating everything that they enjoy. They expect to be in the gym 7 days per week, or whatever. It was just too hard. And so I try to simplify it and say, let's just get the habit of being here at the gym and coming in. And even if you're not really pushing hard, but let's create an environment for your body to experience the changes from the inside out, so that you'll be less sore, so that you'll sleep better at night. And when you sleep better at night, you'll be more likely to come and work out in the morning, and those types of things. And so that we had amazing results with that. And it became something that I personally began doing myself every 6 months or so, or even after, where I am not one of those fitness people that it's like fitness and nutrition is my religion. I enjoy a cheeseburger. I enjoy pizza. I enjoy the things that I like. And so for me, as long as I'm eating mostly healthy, I am exercising, I can do those. I can have a piece. I can go out to pizza with my kids once a week and not feel like, okay, now I'm binging for 3 days because I ate a slice of pizza and all is lost. Mm-hmm. And so the cleanse really helped me in doing even a mini cleanse after doing the bigger cleanse, to say, okay, I'm going to detox my body of those, maybe the things that were in the things that I ate that I shouldn't have. And I noticed I felt much better while doing a cheat meal, because I would use more of the enzymes, or I would use the GX assist, and we'll get into what those things mean.
But basically your body can process even unhealthy food better because you're supporting it, right? You're giving your gut those good bacteria and the digestive enzymes you need.
Exactly. You're essentially increasing the horsepower that your body has to do its functions. And so whatever those functions are, whether it's digesting, whether it's sleeping, whether it's processing your hormones and how they're regulating, and we can get into that more. And that was I don't know if this is a good time, but that was something that when I spoke to Dr. Dave, can I share that story with you?
Yeah, I haven't heard that. I want to hear it.
So we were on an incentive trip, and there's a tall guy, and I heard him talking, and he went to Harvard and he went to MIT, and I had no idea who this guy was. And apparently he was somebody that really loved the Cleanse and Restore kit. And this is when I was really heavy in with my gym, and I was selling those left and right. And I was just preaching it like, this is something everybody absolutely needs. And I told him, I said, yeah, I own a gym and I sell that kit a lot. And he said, well, do you know why everybody needs it? He looked at me, and I'm 5'10", 5'11", but he's like, I don't know, a lot bigger. And I heard Harvard and MIT, and even if he were 5 foot, I would still feel 4 foot hearing those kind of words. And I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you why they need it. I'm going to play dumb a little bit. Why don't you tell me why they need it? I want to hear your side of it. And he said, this cleanse is so much more than a weight loss thing. This has very little to do with true weight loss. This has to do with the weaknesses that we have in our bodies that drive things like alcoholism, depression, anger management, all of binge eating, being overweight, food addictions, drug addictions. All of those things have a lot of times a correlation or relation with the hormone system, and everybody just trying to find happiness, trying to find what's missing. And they're getting this false sense of pleasure or excitement by feeding those addictions. And so he says, when you do the cleanse is not, most cleanses are digestive cleanse. It's just you get rid of whatever you see horrible pictures online of what comes out of people during cleanses. That's not this. He says this is a cleanse of the complete hormonal system, the hormonal glands, that the endocrine system, even though it includes the stomach and the lungs and the skin, all the filter systems in our body, it also includes all of the hormonal glands, the adrenal glands, your thyroid, for women, your ovaries, men, testicles, and just so many other glands within our body, hormonal glands. He says this is what helps detox and strengthen and increase the function, support the function of those glands. So now they're producing and regulating those hormones naturally. So if somebody who's had issues with anger, that lack of serotonin, whatever it is that's causing them to be angry, that triggers them to react on that anger, which gives them that adrenaline rush that they're actually partially what they're addicted to. It's a false pleasure. That lack of that pleasure won't be there. And therefore the need to fulfill or to fill that lack won't be needed. Right. And so what he was doing with the cleanse was, I was like, wow, I was just trying to help people look good in their swimsuits. He's trying to like help people with major addictions, and I mean things that really matter on a much greater level. And so that hit me profoundly, and I was like, wow, what I'm doing is so much more important than I realized. And now I realize how many more people actually need this. Yeah. And so, yeah. So do you have questions about that?
No, I was going to say that's been my experience with everyone who has, talking to you about what's in the Lifelong Vitality Pack, which is just the basic everyday supplements, vitamins, and omega-3s and cellular complex, like those 3 basic vitamins you take every day, cleanse or no cleanse. The sharing those with people and hearing their results has been like, oh my God, I'm doing the exact right thing with my life, because it's life-changing. Like when you've been, like one of my customers, she's been on 8 pain pills a day since a car wreck she had in her 20s. And she's been able to get that down. I think in her last post, it was to 4, and her doctors really need her to get it down to 2 because it's so hard on her liver, because your liver processes those medications that you're taking. And just giving her cells what they needed to repair themselves and take care of themselves and calm down inflammation. Just the Lifelong Vitality Pack has already helped her come down on her pain meds, and fibromyalgia and bad brain fog. And she texted me. I was actually with Liz, and I showed Liz the text that she was like, I've been getting on my treadmill every day because I have the energy to. Like, I just can't. Like, I'm not even trying to make myself. And in the past, she couldn't get out of bed some mornings. Like, her leg muscles were so sore, she couldn't, like, when you put your feet over the side of the bed and you stand up, like, she couldn't do that because her leg muscles didn't have the strength. And so all of these things, like, I think a lot of times we think that it comes down to willpower and discipline, but sometimes your body is missing the thing that it needs. So you're doing whatever behaviors, whether it's addiction or whether it's staying in bed till 10 in the morning, you're doing whatever behaviors because your body is missing on a chemical level those things that it needs. So if we can supplement that down at the cellular level, we can make
Oh, there you are.
There you are. I think that was you.
Oh, was it me gone or was you gone?
Anyhow. So I don't know. Tell me
know.
in the chat room if I cut out and you guys didn't hear any of that. It was so good. It was so heartfelt.
We only lost about 5-10 seconds of you.
You don't know how long I talked. So
I heard you last, and then when I heard you again, it was only about that small of a window.
Oh, good. Okay. So what actually is this? Let's go through. I mentioned lifelong vitality supplements, which we actually did a whole webinar on. We can just point people towards that. We don't have to talk about that unless you have something special to say. But what are we actually talking about doing? Because we are going to start this January 21st. Let me say this before I let you talk. We're going to start it January 21st, and we are going to do it in a Facebook group with daily prompts and education. And me and Dave and Liz will be there posting about how to use the products and encouraging you as you go and answering all of your questions kind of as you go and build from that foundation of health. What is it? Other than a Facebook group, what are we actually doing?
So, do you mind? I really felt impressed to share one more experience about the cleanse.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, because I enjoy this one because I feel like, again, it's bigger than just I help somebody lose 30 pounds type of thing, which is great, life-changing, totally get it. But I had a guy that I met actually at the gym, and this is not my gym. This is a gym that I started attending because I no longer own a gym. We sold it and moved to San Diego. And so met a guy at the gym, real friendly, talked to him about what I do, talked about what he does. We became friends, and so I gave him a sample of some oils because he was sharing with me how he suffers from some anxiety and some depression from a recent divorce. And it was something that happened over a year ago. It was a very traumatic divorce for him because it wasn't something that he wanted. And to come to find out, I guess there was a lot of cheating and drug use and stuff like that he was basically the last to know about it. Oh. And he is just one of those just good-hearted, just good people. And he had been suffering from PTSD type symptoms because he still lives in the same home where they were together. And so it was very traumatic for him. And he's like, I hardly know you. I don't know why I'm sharing this with you. And I said, well, I gave him a couple of oils to try. I gave him some serenity and some balance. And immediately he felt some great relief. I saw him a couple days later, and he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how that has already helped me. And then I talked to him about the cleanse, thinking, not for weight loss or anything like that, but for the things that he was going through. And so he went through the cleanse. I met him for lunch about a week after the cleanse he had finished the cleanse. And I said, so how did the cleanse go? And he says, well, it went really, really good, but I had this major breakthrough. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you mean? He said, I was always the type that couldn't understand why the things happened that happened. I was always overanalyzing and driving myself crazy, trying to figure out why did she do what she did. He said, I had this breakthrough where all of a sudden I realized, and as simple as it may sound for me or sounds for you to hear this, he said, I realized I'm never going to know. I'm never wanting her back. None of that ever matters. Why am I giving her still that much attention? And he said once he had that realization, his life, emotions, everything just changed. And I said, do you think it's a coincidence that you just finished this cleanse and you just had this major breakthrough? And he's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even, like, it hit him like the change in his life. And now I see him and he's a completely different person. Normally he was just like hot and cold, or all of a sudden something would trigger him and he'd be mad and he would tell me about he'd raged about something. And now he's just like the most peaceful, happy person. And it was like, wow, this is so powerful. How much all of us need this regularly. I mean, you know, all of us. It's not just somebody who's suffering on an extreme level, but all the little things. I mean, I have 4 little kids. Believe me, I need help as much as possible.
You need
And
all
so
the serotonin you can get.
I need whatever I could get as much as possible. So I really wanted to share that. I don't know if it would help somebody that hears this. So let's talk about the cleanse though.
Yeah.
And okay, so the cleanse is a 30-day cleanse and it's broken out into 3 phases. The first phase, I don't know what they call the different phases, it's irrelevant. The first phase is basically where you're just beginning and you're starting off by taking the Lifelong Vitality Pack. That is this. I have most of the components of the cleanse here. So this has the vitamins and minerals. This has the omega-3 fatty acids, and this has the alpha CRS plus, which I like to describe as essentially cellular support. It's basically different types of amino acids that help with inflammation and helps with cellular energy. So you said your friend that couldn't get out of bed. Well, this isn't a caffeine or a stimulant. It's giving those cells, the mitochondria, the things needed to get going so that she can perform as a human being.
And if you live not in San Diego, if you're anywhere else in North America and it's really cold and dark right now, this is huge. Like several people have emailed me to say, like they watched our one all about this pack, which I'll link to on this page. You guys can go watch it if you haven't seen it yet. But they said, like this is the first like solstice and December that I went through where I didn't feel seasonal affective. Like this season didn't affect my mood in the way it has in the past. And part of that is supporting yourself on the cellular level, like having a human-like energy, even when you don't have the sun to give you energy.
Yeah. So this for me was life-changing just within the gym. This is where I started. And then I learned about the cleanse. So yeah, check that video out because I could talk about this forever, but I don't think that's what Tara wants. Trust me, it's great. This is basically for the first 10 days, you're just getting started off with the vitamins. The other thing that you're doing for the first 10 days is once 3 times per day, you're going to take, once 3 times per day plus 1 in the morning and 1 at night, you're going to do the digestive enzymes. And the reason why these are important is because unless you're Tara, who is a very clean eating vegan, but for those that aren't, if you're not eating a lot of raw vegetables in your diet, you don't have the enzymes necessary naturally to break down everything that you're eating. Even if you're eating just a lot of vegetables, if those vegetables are heated over 130 degrees or so, you're cooking out those natural enzymes. And so what happens is you're losing out on the opportunity for your body to completely break down all of the nutrients that exist within our food. So sometimes people hear enzymes and they think, oh, it's just going to help me pass it faster so I absorb less fat. Some people have thought, and it's like, no, that's not what we're doing. We're breaking it down so that we could absorb everything that nutrition has to offer. And even break down the fat so that our body needs fat, actually, surprise. Everybody talks about low fat. I don't talk about low fat. I talk about clean fat, but not low fat. And so the digestive enzymes are an amazing thing. And even outside of the cleanse, my wife and I, we don't go to dinner without her sneaking across a couple of these to the table to me, like, here you go. You know, like it's just part of our lives. And so you're going to do what?
When I had lunch with her, she was like, okay, everybody. And she passed out her TerraZymes.
Yeah. And she just doesn't go anywhere without them. It's an absolute necessity. The other part of the phase 1 is where we're using the lemon oil. And this is basically just in your water throughout the day, all day long. Mm-hmm. For me, the one that I really like to put emphasis on is first thing in the morning, right when you wake up, tall glass of water, 8 to 10 ounces, put it 1 to 2 drops and just drink it before doing anything. Just drink it. You wake up, you've been sleeping for 8 hours or so, you're dehydrated, you need to hydrate. No better way than with some lemon added into your water. Now, as a side note, if you are going to just be mixing it into your water all day long, make sure it is in an appropriate container because if it's not, it could this lemon oil breaks down toxins, and plastic is basically toxic. So if you have a high enough, it will break down, and you'll actually absorb the toxins from your plastic through your water. Right. So that's why a lot of people like Liz uses a hydro flask all day long, and it's metal. Yeah. So it's, you know, doesn't have that issue. Do you have a question, Tara?
No, I was just going to say that the thing to be really careful of, guys, when we talk about adding lemon oil to your water is you have to make sure it's a really high quality oil that's safe for internal use. Don't go putting the lemon oil you find in TJ Maxx for $3. Don't go putting that in your water. It's not at all the same thing. Not only does doTERRA like make sure it's safe for internal use, but they also test it to make sure it's pure, that it has no additives. So if you have any allergies, like a lot of time oils, other brands of oils have cross-contamination with wheat or nuts or something like that. All of this has been tested for all of those allergies, pesticides, totally clean. And they actually publish the results of the tests that they do on the oils on a website. So you can see that it passed all those tests and that it has the right like chemical constituents that actually work to like work with your liver and work with your system. So like, don't go putting other essential oils in your water. Make sure it's really pure, really clean, free of toxins before you go like trying to use it to help you detoxify.
Even if the label says organic, it doesn't necessarily mean it's actually pure 100% lemon oil. It can be 90% almond oil with, you know, 10% lemon oil, and it smells like lemon, but it's not going to have the same detoxifying results that something that is just pure lemon. Now, one thing to be careful of, the FDA doesn't regulate what goes in bottles, so you may find one and say, well, it says 100% lemon oil, so I'm good. Well, that may not actually be the case, so just beware. The next part of the cleanse is the endocrine detoxification complex. This gets a little bit confusing for people.
This is the second 10-day. No. The first 10 days was what you just said.
Yes.
The second 10.
I'm sorry. No, actually, this you actually take throughout the entire thing.
Okay.
Okay. So the doTERRA, when you buy the cleanse, just so you don't have to be taking notes on when to take what, in the back of the book, the last 2 pages, it actually has a checklist of the protocol and when to take it. And so I'm referencing that while talking to you to make sure I'm being accurate. I just know when I do now my mini cleanses, I just know like what to do, and I do the enzymes regularly anyways. So I'm just trying to be accurate and consistent with what you're going to be reading. That's why I'm referencing it right here. But the detoxification complex with the endocrine one, because there's 2 endocrines, and I'll explain the difference between the 2. This one, again, the endocrine, play on words, the endocrine system. All of those filter systems in our body, our skin. People don't realize how much toxins we actually absorb through our skin and through our lungs. And so what this does is it's actually in our kidneys and our liver, the things that we consume. This is a detoxing, a cleansing of, and again, also those hormonal glands, just same as everything else. Those also become toxic and need to be filtered, or need to be cleaned. And so the endocrine detoxification complex, one you'll take every 1 in the morning, 1 at night for the entire 30 days. And what this is doing is it's helping just clean those filters out. Okay, so it's helping just like your car filter that needs to be done, your air conditioning filter needs to be cleaned out. And so that's what this is doing during the entire 30 days. Okay, so there are enough in here for the entire cleanse, 1 twice a day, 1 with your morning, 1 in the evening. Do you have questions about that, Tara?
No, that made sense.
Okay, so for some reason, every time my phone goes to sleep, the thing goes away and I have to scroll back down. So the next thing within the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, I'm just want to stay on track. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The endocrine detoxification blend. Now this is a
Guys, am I frozen or is he frozen? Okay, so Dave is frozen. So I'm glad you guys can see me. Earlier it was me that was frozen. So I will ask you if you have any questions and you're watching this on the page on my site, you can scroll down. There's a chat box on that page. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's a chat box over to the side, but you should really go to my page and I will put a link to the page there in that chat box. Let me load that up. Yeah, so Cece asked, how many times a day should you put the lemon oil in the water? Definitely do it in your first glass of the day. What I tend to do actually, because you know, oil and water don't mix. So I add the oil to the top, I start up with my straw, and then I keep filling up the same glass of water throughout the day. It's like a glass, not plastic. And so there's like a little bit of oil left in the glass. I do that so I'm not using multiple drops. You also just want to test it out. Some people's throat is more sensitive, and so they don't like the oil on their throat. In that case, you can put it in a veggie cap and take it like that internally. The lemon never bothers my throat at all. But I'm going to look at the chat room in the YouTube, and I'm sure Dave will come back to us here in a minute. Let me mute this. Oh, okay. Their throat, in that case, you can put it in a veggie cap. Okay. I can see he's here twice. He's just like not video. Can you guys see me or just hear me? Okay. It doesn't look like there's anybody in the live chat on YouTube. But so go, I'm going to share this link if you're on YouTube. I think he'll come back in a minute. So we're going to give it a minute. Let's see. I'm looking at the chat room now. Thanks for chatting with me, Cece. Anonymous says, I have been doing lemon water, but not very consistently. Okay, good. You guys can see me now. I'm glad to hear that you're not just looking at Liz's face. So he's using Liz's computer. That's why that's Liz's face. Let me just tell him. To join us again. So any questions so far about what we're talking about? So, you know, the cleanse comes in one pack. So you're going to buy all of this in one package if you decide you want to do this with us. Like I said, we're starting on January 21st. At the end of the call, I'm actually going to give you a code that if you buy it in the next 30 days, you're going to get 100 free doTERRA dollars with your order next month. Now that's only good for new customers who are joining us from here. And if you order in the next 3 days. I gotta look that code up before I give it to you, but I'll also paste it on this page. So if you're watching it later, you can see the code below the page. And what'll happen if you're in the US is you go and you check out and there's a place for you to put in the code. And if you're in the UK, shoot me a message. You actually can totally check out and then we put in the code in a special system. So just send me a message and we'll do that. And if you're in Australia, you don't have to do anything. So what that is if you order the Cleanse and Restore today or in the next couple days after you watch this, when you make your next order of next month's, hey, I'm just telling them about the free doTERRA dollars. So when you make your vitamin order next month, what'll happen is you'll get 100 product credits credited to your account automatically. So that's if you put in the code that I'm going to share at the end. And if you have any questions about it, there's a question box at the bottom. Just make sure we're doing this on the 9th. That code is only going to be good through the 11th. So if you have any questions, send me a message about it sooner rather than later, and I will help you apply that code and get those free. It's $100 of product points, which is like $100 of oils or supplements or the deep blue rub or whatever your goal is. I've actually put together a little list of what you could get with those free product points. But let's go back. You started talking about Dave, you were talking about the endocrine gel something?
Soft gels. I'm sorry. It's raining really bad here, so I don't know if something's wrong with the internet. So I apologize.
It's totally fine. We just chatted. Everybody's cool.
Oh, I had a feeling you were a veteran and would roll right with it. Okay, so the endocrine, what this is a blend of essential oils that are specifically shown to support the endocrine system. So it's designed specifically to help support the kidneys, the liver, all of those hormonal glands that we talked about, and those filters in our body, because now we just detoxified them. Not that they're like depleted like within our stomach when we do a cleanse, when we get rid of all the bad bacteria, we also get rid of the good. It's just more of, okay, now that we have a clean environment, let's now ramp it up by supporting it with its functions. And that's what the endocrine detoxification blend does. Okay, so it's supporting the function. It's not any sort of a cleanse or detox in that regard. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So do people sometimes take those if one of those, if that system or those organs in that system, if they have an issue with it? Like, is that the kind of thing you can take just to support its health ongoing?
Yeah, if somebody is, you know, I mean, obviously consult a doctor and understand exactly. Every case is so unique, but you know, if somebody has an issue with, I mean, it's such, the bodies are such a complex thing. The great thing about this is just, these are just the essential oils that are for convenience in soft gels. So that way you're not saying, okay, you need to, you know, have 5 different oils and you're consuming 5 drops of oil, you know, for convenience, that's the way it's done. Now it does also come in just a oil form like this, that some people will put in their water and drink also. It's a little not good for me. I just don't like it at all. I don't know what's in it. I don't like cilantro, and there's cilantro in this. So maybe that's it. I don't know.
How can you even live in California not like cilantro? It's like in everything.
Well, it's growing on me.
No.
It's growing on me. I don't know. It's okay. I don't love it. Do you want me to talk about what's next?
Yes.
Okay, so the next part of the cleanse is when you get into phase 2, and that's when you get into the GX Assist, which is the GI cleansing formula. And so this is what's going in there, and it's getting rid of, it's encapsulated in a way that is designed to actually get into the colon, into the intestines. And that's important because we need it to make it through that stomach acid, which does a very effective job of breaking things down. And for example, I'll talk to a mom about their kid about stomach issues, and I'll say, well, what kind of probiotics, or something simple like that. And they're like, oh, they eat lots of yogurt. On the surface, that sounds really good, but I hate to say it, but a majority of any probiotics that are in yogurt are killed by your stomach acid, breaking it down. And so these are encapsulated in a way to actually make it to the colon and the intestines. And it's designed to, and again, it is just oils. So there's oregano, there's lemon, lemongrass, melaleuca, peppermint, and thyme. And anybody that knows anything about oils knows that oregano, some pretty serious stuff. It is designed, it's an antiviral, antifungal, antimicrobial. It will go in there and really flush out the intestines and the digestive system. And so again, it does have a harder time differentiating between the good bacteria and the bad bacteria, and that's why the PB Assist Plus comes in play on phase 3. Okay, so this is what's going to kind of sweep the system. Now, I've done cleanses in the past. I'm not going to tell you my cleanse story. Let's just say my wife was giving labor. I decided to start a cleanse that day, and I wasn't super supportive that night because I was having my own issues. Bad story. It wasn't this cleanse, to be clear. It was one that I bought like at health food store. It's supposed to be good for you. Basically, I learned most of those cleanse theory is let's give you diarrhea, and that gets rid of stuff. So you're probably better afterwards. So that's not what this is. Now, not to say some people don't experience more softness or a little bit more regular in their stools, but some people have experienced a little bit of that. Not much. It's very uncommon. And if you do, what I like about this cleanse is you're introducing things incrementally. So you can generally see what's the culprit, you know, what it is that's causing that. But by default, I can't help but think you may have a very toxic environment, and that's probably why you're experiencing what you're experiencing. Now, if you experience something like that and you can't quite figure it out, I would talk to customer care or to me or to Tara, and we would love to help you figure it out. So the PB Assist, now this is a probiotic that's designed, again, also encapsulated in a really, this one's unopened, I'm not going to open it, in a really neat way. It's a capsule within a capsule, looks like something from the Matrix, and it's designed also to get to the intestines and the colon, where the actual good flora, bacteria, is needed for digestion. And so in phase 3, then you start taking these, and I don't remember exactly what the protocol says. I don't know, I think it might be 1-3 times per day. I'm not positive. 1-3 times a day with a meal. Do you remember, Tara?
Well, you're going to look that up, and I'm going to say this other thing.
Yes, I am right.
So what Dave was saying is that the GX Assist is much milder. Like if you've done a cleanse, especially if it's like a juice cleanse or like serious whatever, often like it leads to stomach cramps. It's super intense. You can't even help your wife in labor. But this is much, much more milder. And then you're following it up. Like whenever you clean out your digestive system, you then need to follow it up by putting back those good bacteria. So like Jay a couple years ago had a small bowel infection. So he had to do a seriously heavy dose of antibiotics. And then the gastroenterologist said, you know, and then you need to do high dose probiotic. And so it's kind of never felt the same since that. And we tried a whole bunch of probiotics. And it's also hard to find probiotics that are vegan. If you don't consume animal meat, you don't want it in your probiotic. And so PB Assist is, first of all, it's vegan. The second thing is that it's the best. It's the best that he's had. Like when he takes it regularly, he notices such a difference. He feels so much better. He feels, because again, your gut, all of that gut, the microbiome there in your gut actually impacts how much serotonin your gut makes. 90% of it is made in your gut, but it affects your brain and your mood. And so that's been a major difference maker for him. And he like scoffed at it at first because he wasn't even into the whole essential oils thing to begin with. But now he's like, okay, yeah, that's the best probiotic. And we both take it all the time. And I pass it out to all my friends with gut issues and they all like it.
Yeah, I haven't had somebody with serious gut issues that we've shared this with. I mean, I have a buddy who had his gallbladder removed and there were certain things he just couldn't eat. And if he did, it was 2 days of being destroyed. And between the enzymes and the PB Assist, you know, like he can go out to pizza with his kids. He actually texted me, I can go to pizza with my kids. I'm like, oh, okay. And he says, I couldn't. My gallbladder was removed. And if he did, it was 2-3 days where he was just tore up. And so it's made a big impact, even in something dramatic like having your gallbladder removed. Let's see, what's the next thing?
Is there a next thing? Have we gone through everything?
No, we have not yet gone through everything. So I wrote one quick correction on the PB Assist. It actually instructs that you take 3 with your evening meal during the cleanse. And that's for days 20 through 30, so the last phase. And then the last thing, because I already mentioned the lemon, the last thing is the DDR Prime soft gels. And those you only take 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening with your meals. And so DDR Prime stands for Damaged DNA Recovery. What's neat about that is majority of all diseases begin with oxidative stress in the body, right? So there's oxidation. Everybody hears that, you know, that's why everybody loves antioxidants. You know, it's a big selling word on stuff. And so what's neat about this is what happens in the aging process is the stress on the cells that takes place when they become a free radical, which means they're lacking one of the electrons needed, right? And so an antioxidant comes in and it is filling where those free radicals are lacking an electron to complete it. Well, as it's going through as a free radical like that, it causes damage to the body, and it actually ages the body much faster. And so what the DDR prime is designed to do, Dr. Hill said if there was only one oil he could use, if he only had one oil for his access for the rest of his life, it would be DDR prime. It does have frankincense oil and some of the great oils that are used simply for cellular support. Again, going back to what we said in the beginning, this is all about, you can strengthen the foundation of who we are. You're going to have less sleeping issues, less anger issues. I mean, you're going to be just an overall better, healthier person. And so the last part, and now after you've cleansed your body, you've detoxed your endocrine system and your digestive system, now you're repairing it with the DDR prime, just using twice a day for those last 10 days. Now, this is one of those things that some people, depending on how old they are, they may only take once a day and then just continue that as part of their regular regimen. For somebody that may have cancer or something like that in their family or history of cancer, then that's something that just becomes part of their daily regimen in place of just doing the frankincense. A lot of people do frankincense just under the tongue every day. Some people want to kind of supercharge that and just feel a little bit better about it, and they'll just use DDR prime. There is an oil and there is also a gel cap. And so it is included in the cleanse and restore kit. Do you have questions about that one?
No, but that's the one that I least understood. So I'm glad that we talked about it. So it is another way of supporting your cellular health, and like at the DNA level.
Yeah, as far as repairing it. So like we talked about in the supplements, the Alpha CRS Plus, right? That one's designed to help it to work, to do its job. This is designed as like the maintenance, the repairman that's going in to say, okay, let's help this to not just work, but work optimally, you know. So that's what it's designed to do. And most people don't realize, the aging process is the deterioration of our cells. Right. And so if we can slow that process down, we're going to, it's amazing to me how many older people all have the exact same health issues. They all have issues sleeping. They all have issues, with aches and pains or going to the bathroom or whatever. And those types of things a lot of them are related just simply to the aging process. And so if we can support our body on a cellular level, that becomes less likely, those symptoms that they're having will decrease.
Absolutely. I want to clarify, when we talk about like supporting the systems and supporting it on the cellular level, what a lot of these things have are, they're not, it's not like when you take a prescription drug and like it gives you serotonin, right? Or it gives you the hormone. What these do is actually provide the cofactors, which are like the building blocks that your cells and your body then takes to make the thing it's supposed to make. So like lemon oil actually latches in. I was reading about this. It's fascinating. Like in your liver, it actually latches into the neurotransmitters in your liver that tell your liver, hey, do your job. Is like the key in the system that tells them to do that. And then a lot of these supplements, as my dog tries to pull down my diffuser, a lot of these supplements give you the cofactors so that then your cells or your organs can take up that building block and use it to do its own job. So instead of giving you like it at the end of the process, you're giving your body the building blocks at the beginning of the process so your body can do the thing it's supposed to do. That's why it's so gentle on your system, and that's why it's not like drastically changing your mood. And that's why you don't have to worry about like, oh, I'm on this medication, is it going to totally like mess up everything? Because it's just giving the building blocks you need at the beginning of the system. And if you don't need those building blocks, you just don't, your body can just keep doing its job optimally. I can't say that word.
Amazing. One thing I want to add to that, which is really important, is our body is very efficient and very smart. And if you take away the body's ability to create and do something on its own by giving an outside source, your body will say, oh, okay, I guess I don't need to do that anymore. And it will completely shut down that function within your body. And that's where you end up with, being 65 years old with a pill tray. Half of them are there to offset the side effects of past medications or current medications, because we've shut down functions within our body because of use of prescriptions or overuse of prescriptions over the years.
Yeah.
And so it's real important we get our body to work the right way.
Absolutely. And before, and like Dave was saying, like he would suggest that people do this even before they start working out, before they drastically change their diet, support the foundation so that you have the energy to go work out. Like, I mean, I texted him when I was 6 in the morning. That was like, I'm awake at 6 in the morning and I want to go to the gym. That's just from the Lifelong Vitality. That's not taking anything else. I haven't done this cleanse yet before, but my body was so lacking those building blocks that I was just tired all the time. And go to the gym is like massively, it feels so much better than trying to force yourself to do it if you are totally exhausted. It's much more sustainable too. So that's what we want to help you do, is create sustainable foundational health. No matter what the rest of your goals are or what you want to do. We just want you to have the energy to be able to like live the life you want to have. And I know lots of you guys have small businesses, or you're creatives, or you're entrepreneurs. And so you have like these big, big dreams. And if you don't have the energy and the foundation of health, and you don't have the mood managed, it's really hard to follow your dream and create the products you want to create and go out and connect with people if you're completely exhausted and you're completely worn down and you just don't have that like vitality is like the word for it. So I wanted to,
or even if you're a mom that is at home with kids, I mean, that's exhausting. I'm at home a lot with my kids. That is an exhausting thing, to constantly be picking up and knowing, okay, meal planning and grocery shopping and laundry and cleaning and then the projects around the house. I mean, even on a simpler level of not being an entrepreneur, but just being a mom. I don't even like to say just, because that is way harder, in my opinion, than going out and interacting and being able to,
yeah.
So yeah. So
yeah,
you were talking so grand about people building and doing stuff. I'm like, how about just having the energy to fold that little laundry?
Because my people, everybody who's here, we have big, big dreams on top of daily life. And let's say parent and not a mom, because you're an amazingly involved parent. Parenting is hard. So if you, let me make sure I've clicked over. It's like I have to click on each of our faces to make us big. So I want to tell you guys how to get this. So if you already have an account with doTERRA, go into your account, add the bits that you're missing, or you can go into collections and kits and actually add the whole kit. Since I was already needed to order my vitamins and I was doing this, I just got the kit. It's called Cleanse and Restore. It's under kits and collections when you go into shop. If you don't yet have an account, then good news, you're going to get 100 free product points next month when you reorder your vitamins. So to do that, there are instructions on the page where you're probably watching this video. If you're watching it anywhere else, click the link below the video to go to the page with instructions. There's a link you click, you're going to fill out your information, then you're going to pick your kit. The kit is called Cleanse and Restore. Then you are going to check out. And then on the next page, it's going to ask you if you want to set up your loyalty rewards program order. When you create a order using that loyalty rewards program, you earn points back on every order and you get your shipping back in points. So when you just get started out, you're earning 10% back on every order. So if you spend $100, you're going to get 10 like product dollars back in your account. And the longer that you do that, the more points you earn back. So after 3 months, it's 15, then it's 20. And at the end of a year, you're getting 30% back on every order you make. That means when you spend $100, you get 30 product points back. And that's about $30 for you to spend on whatever you want, whenever you want. So you want to, when you get to that page where it asks you, you want to say yes, because that's how you're going to get your free product points next month. So set up that order. I've given you a list of things to put on that order. So whether your goal is weight loss, whether your goal is fitness and exercise and just like being active, or if your goal is just ongoing health, I suggest On Guard, which is the immunity boosting blend of oils, and the Lumo diffuser, which is a really excellent diffuser. So you can diffuse it and keep everybody in your house dosed with On Guard. And you will also get, when you get this kit today, those 100 free points, a 30-minute wellness consult with me, where we will talk about what your goals are and what other oils you might want to look at and how to make the most of your account. You'll get access to our Facebook group where we're going to do daily posts about actually like this is the protocol for today. Along with Dave has made this really excellent 30-day fit plan that is like people who would walk into his gym and be like, where do I even start? Or people, you told me that people would come in and say, well, I'm going to go get fit before I come back to CrossFit. And it's like for what that is. So like drinking water, eating regularly. It's super awesome. I read it, loved it. And it has daily prompts for you to do. All that will be in the Facebook group along with us and weekly videos about how to use the different oils and the different supplements. So to do that, either talk to the person who sent you to this page. So if you've been talking to Anakin or Jolie or Liz, or they sent you the link, go to them. They'll give you the link to sign up. If I sent you an email and that's why you're here, click the thing that says get your kit, big pink button. You can't miss it. If you've got a question, scroll down, fill out the got a question, and I'll help you out. To get those free product points, there's going to be a code you're going to put in. I'm going to put that code on this page. So when you scroll down to those instructions, it'll say click here. On like step 3, it'll say put in this code. And I'll give you that code. I don't have it pulled up in front of me. That'll work if you're in the US. If you're in the UK, you need a different one, message me, I'll give it to you. And just ask me any of your questions. And if I don't know the answer, I will forward it to Dave and Dave will answer all of your questions. I'm signing him up for that job. So do you guys have any questions in the chat room before we go? Dave, did everything I say make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent. Someone in the chat room is bonding with you. They are not a cilantro fan either.
Oh.
Jenna May. Jenna May, you already have your oils. I hope you join us for this. Let me know if you have any questions about reordering. You all just want to make sure that you're reordering as a loyalty rewards order so that you're earning points back on it and getting your shipping back in points. And if you guys have any questions about that, ask me or ask the person who shared this with you. And yeah. Okay, good. So we're good to go. Thanks, guys, for being here. Thank you so much for joining us. Send me your questions if you have them. If you're watching this way in the future, know that that code for the free points only lasts 3 days. You got to buy your kit in the next 3 days, but you are still welcome to ask me your questions. Oh, we did get a question. So somebody, anonymous, says, if I can't afford to spring for the whole kit, what's the most important thing or the first thing to do to move towards feeling better, having more energy? Okay, I'm going to give you my answer, and then we'll ask Dave for his answer. My answer is take the lifelong vitality. My friend with fibromyalgia, she's only on that and she's not even on the full dose and she's seen such a huge difference. A lot of people that have reduced their pain medication, they're just doing the lifelong vitality. I'd say start there. What do you say, Dave?
Absolutely. Without a doubt. Perfect answer.
Well, I am an A student, so thanks guys so much. And we will talk to you later. Send us any of your questions. Bye.